Tefu, thank you so much, my brother, for joining us on Shoot Online. We haven't seen you in a while on the pitch because you've left the game. What is life like away from the pitch?
Well, thank you, Matselane, for this great moment. I've just been like minding my own business, and I know I haven't said anything about like whether I moved away from football, I've retired or whatever. But like I think this is the great moment to say, well, I'm off football, but like I'm still involved with football, pretty much. I don't think one should say I've retired because like retiring means you are literally dead. You know, that's just how I look at life and like how I look at philosophy. You retiring, it means like you literally like out. So one day if I come back and like I'm trying to explore other avenues of football, then what does that mean? Because I said I retired. So I've always looked at life like that. But actively playing, I think I'm no longer playing. So it will be safe to say that like I'm no longer playing. But like football will always be a part of me. And whether I'm gonna go into coaching or administration, football is just a part of me. Yeah.
Why did you feel that it was time to stop playing?
Because when I first started out, my plan was 10 years. And like I think my ancestors have blessed me with about 13 years, to explore this dream. Because like when I turned professional, I wasn't into academics. And like somehow I just had this epiphany to explore this football dream. And I had this 10-year plan, which extended to 13, which made me to like just kind of like experience so much. And like I felt like after 13 years, it was time to move on into like other things. Yeah.
Was it a difficult decision to make?
Personally, individually, it wasn't. In as much as I can miss playing and whatnot, I have to remember my mission. I miss like connecting with the guys on the football pitch. I miss everything that football has introduced me to. But like at the end of the day, if they send you to the store and then you get to the store and then you see a candy, you see ice cream and you see this and this and that, do you get hooked on the candy and the ice cream and then you forget that you still have to go back home to deliver on that piece of bread that they sent you to the store to get? So that's me. That's my mission, that's my purpose.
I mean, tell us, what goes into planning for life after football? Because especially now you are no longer getting that salary that you used to get as a player.
I don't think I'm more concerned about that because like football is not 100% of everything. There's more to life than just football. There's politics, there's a whole lot of things that goes into life. Football is just like that little potion in the whole house. It's like going into an 8-roomed house and being concerned about what happens in the kitchen, the eggs, the fridge and whatnot. But there's still a place that you have to go to sleep in. There's a place that you have to go and like watch TV in. There's a garden, there's this, there's that. So why do I really have to like be concerned about the salary that you're gonna get in football? So that's just how I'm looking at life. And like it might be a bit difficult for other people, but like I think my life and my history and my individuality and my calling and my purpose has prepared me for this. So I don't go and like, okay, now football is no longer offering me that salary. I know that I'm here for a reason, so I'm not concerned about those things. I played football because like I had that 10-year plan to just say, you know what, like I want to show um, not really the world, because like there's a bigger world out there, but to say, you know what, like I just want to experience that moment. And I feel like I've experienced all that there is to experience, from captaining Vets to captaining Chiefs to playing in Sweden to just coming back and playing in the Confederations Cup final, which we came runners up, which was like, if you look at like in terms of anniversary, I think the final of the Confederations Cup was like yesterday. I don't know if it was 4 years or 5 years or whatever, but like it was 2017, if I'm not mistaken, but it was this very same time, you know. So I look at this moment and like everything that I've won, and life is trying to always remind you that you're no longer earning that salary. But what about the memories that you've created? What about the community that you come from and all the people that you've influenced? And what's the next step? What about everything else that you set out in the beginning to try and achieve? Have you achieved that 10-year plan? And like, I get more ticks than wrongs, you know. So that's what keeps me motivated.
What do you appreciate most about the life that you are living now?
I do, because like I I I come from what will be deemed like you don't have I don't know how to like correctly express this, but like being black, and if you narrow it down to being uh, from Africa, from Limpopo, you know, like you are expected to play small, but like I had the audacity to say, you know what, like squash everything, I'm gonna go for it. And I being one of the first few people, or even being the only player to like have won what I've won, you know, it gives me that validation to say, you know what, like there are other kids who are watching me, and there are other kids who are inspired, and every day when I meet them, they remind me of who I am. It doesn't have to be in the mainstream, you know. It's like being a graffiti painter, and you like, you know what, like I wanna inspire more graffiti writers or graffiti artists, you know, to achieve what I'm trying to achieve, you know. In as much as there's gonna be like different noises from different places, but I know what I'm trying to achieve, you know, because like ultimately, if you look at the history of the world, it's more than 2,500 years old. You know, it's more than that. You look at the Egyptian mythology, like you'd realize that there's been kings and queens from this continent, but like today, people through propaganda, they're trying to like just erase that. So, like for me, it's like, can I contribute to that and like go against the grain, that just flow against the grain, and like along that, like you meet people who are smart, you meet people who are trying to like just live their own lives in a different way. They're not trying to be mainstream, you know. And like you, like I had that 10 years of being in the mainstream. Can I appreciate that, you know? And like that's what motivates me, and that's what keeps me going.
When you look back at your career, are you satisfied?
You can never be satisfied in life, you know. There'll always be areas where you feel like I should have done more, but like who am I to judge myself? You know, what if the universe prepared me for what I've achieved? You know, I don't think there's a whole lot of people from Limpopo who have been like defender of the season in the PSL, players player of the season. And like for me, mentioning players player of the season is like the most important accolade, because like there you are voted by a majority of your peers, people who compete against you. And being a defender, So for me, it's like it's a validation of like I made right choices. So who am I to say if this and that, who played for Free State Stars, who played for Baroka, who played for Pirates, who played for that, the majority of them voted for me. So who am I to question or I haven't achieved enough. So those are the kind of things that like you have to philosophically like just grind down and like get those little, validations out of. Yeah.
Do you ever look back and feel that you should not have left Chiefs?
No. When I left Chiefs, I felt like I had outgrown the South African market. And like if you followed what I've been talking about right now, for me, life is philosophical. My life, at least. I don't know about other people. I'm not gonna talk about your life or whoever is gonna be watching, but like I'm just like that graffiti writer. A graffiti writer or a graffiti artist doesn't look at this wall and say, I shouldn't have left that wall because like more people came from the city and then they started looking at this graffiti wall. For me, it's like, okay, can I move from this graffiti wall and then like fly 2,500 kilometers or however distance you have to travel to go and try to make a new market or try to connect with other graffiti artists. Yeah.
So you say you had outgrown the market.
I don't feel like I had outgrown the market, but like it's more about experience. It's more about like, can I go from Johannesburg? No, basically from Sinobarwana. By the way, it's Sinobarwana, it's not Bochum. German people came here and then they named it Bochum, which is like some town in Germany. Imagine if we were to live here and then we name some town in Germany after our own, like Lebochum or whatever. But like they came here and they named it Bochum, cool. But like it's for me to move from here to New York, to Sweden, to wherever I could have been to say, what, like I'm this artist, and like just experience that. I get to like experience a whole lot of people that at the end of the day, like it's not gonna be in the mainstream because like whatever I have to say, it might not be in the interest of the mainstream. The mainstream is so narrowed down that they want you to like to slay, if you're a slave queen, if you're to like sell your soul, if you're to sell your soul, and like that's just how life is. But like you have to accept that, but like within these little pockets you have to find yourself, like you have to like narrow your path down. Because even in the Bible, I'm sure even in the Quran, even in the Torah, all these like religions, they say like that the route is gonna be narrow. It doesn't have to be the route that everyone walks. So you try to experience that. Yeah.
You played for SuperSport United for 2 years, but when you left, most of us expected you to still maybe play in the PSL, even if it's either the top flight or the NFD. But you went down to the ABC Municipal League to play for Barberwa. Why did you not stay in the top leagues?
Because like some powers, well, I don't know if I should say they are powers, but like they decide that okay, he has to go now. And like who am I to question that? Because like I said to you, it's a 10-year plan. I spent 10 years, which I had like wrote down when I started at Vets or even way before that. And I said I want to play for 10 years. So if I get to 12 or 13, and from 12 to 13 I'm at SuperSport, and after 13 there's like messages that are coming through, whether it's through an injury after injury, and they say no, it's time to go, it's time to go to the next level. Who am I to like question that? And it's just down to like whatever I achieved at SuperSport. How many players can you point out there that have like played in the final of a CAF in the recent years. But then they decide that, nah, you passed your due date. You see, there's forces who decide that, like, you passed your due date. And not because you have passed your due date, some milk that has expired. They decide because they think they hold the power. But, like, who am I to decide that? So, but also they are the agent of nature. They say that, like, it's time to move on. And then you move on. And you find other avenues. And you find other philosophies. You find life. You find everything, because, like, we can be locked up in the kitchen, like I said. But what about the sitting room? What about the garden? Maybe it's time to go do the garden. So that's what it is.
What experiences did you enjoy the most in your career?
For me, the experiences that I enjoyed in football, right? It was playing for Vets, captaining Vets in my first season at the age of 23, winning Nedbank Cup. Before we won Nedbank Cup, the last time that Vets had won a cup was in 1995 when they won. I think they won the double, BB Cup and the Coca-Cola Cup. I think Bradley Cannell era. So you see, like, one thing I've appreciated about spending a little time in New York, and I follow NBA. It's about the statistics, Allen Iverson might have not won the championship, and Allen Iverson might not have been born in New York, but, like, those are the things that, like, gets taken into consideration when it comes to South Africa. Are you from Soweto? Nope. Are you Zulu? Nope. Are you this? Are you that? And, like, if you are from Limpopo, you are right there. And for me, I'm a footballer of the season. No one can take that away. I worked hard for this. Nobody gave it to me. If it was up to all these powers, they wouldn't have given it to me. But, like, I went hard, and I got those things. So I don't have to get validation from anyone, and I'm proud of what I've achieved. How many soccer players right now can claim to have, like, came from where I come from and gotten a degree, not just from any other institution, but from Vets, and then they went on to win a footballer of the season, and they went overseas, So for me, why do you need validation from outside? Like, I look at myself and I'm like, it's a miracle. A miracle doesn't have to come from the Bible, That's you have to find validation from yourself.
Thank you so much for your time, my brother.